Hey everyone, Saucy here. In today's game of Highgrounds, I will be playing Zealots vs Spearhead and Fighter Tribal. Zealots are similar to Spearhead armies since they gain strength by spamming units in the back row. Let's take a look at the units. My Acolytes, or Zealots of choice, consists of 2 layers. I do own 2 copies of Jade, but I chose to run their lesser version since Lair is significantly easier to purchase in a primarily crystal-based economy. Acolytes make use of their signature ability, Zealot, to deal the bulk of an army's damage. Zealot reads that the unit gains X attack, in this case 2, for each wizard I have in the back row. For my wizards, I run 2 Tempests, who fulfill the role of stalling aggro decks with their bolts and ramping into my endgame with their 4 crystal. The rest of my wizards, being 2 Brannon, 2 Yaren, and a single Ekin, shut down my opponent's army by spamming Fireball a ridiculous amount of times. My economy consists of 2 Rorths, 2 Looms, and 2 mana. Mana's back row gold generation is the only way I can purchase my lairs. My commander, finally, is Caladrius. He sits in the front row between my 2 lairs to keep my army healthy with his paladin ability. With that out of the way, let's head into the game. My opponent is running the Den City, which is unique. Most fighter decks run Outfitter to try to choose a turn 2 Brody, but the Den allows my opponent a more flexible but still stable economy. My opponent has a slow start with only an Aubin, but I am unable to skyrocket ahead due to a slow turn 2 on my part. Zealots are a relatively slow deck, so there really isn't any strategic decisions to be learned during my economy phase. My opponent's turn 3 is explosive, and he reveals that he is playing a fighter deck at this time. He also reveals Charlie, which is a unit I have honestly never seen played before. Both my opponent and I had ended the economy phase on the same turn, so I prepared to disrupt whatever his game plan is with the wall of fireballs. I also placed my manas in the back row to try to purchase a lair as soon as possible. I am surprised to see a Kalish, but it turns out that she is pretty strong in my opponent's army. While she does chip away at a little bit of my health, my fireballs will set my opponent's back. I get lucky and draw my lair, so, along with the purchase of Brannon by selling my Ekin, I set up another turn to spam fireballs. With the second volley, I managed to wound not only his second Kalish, but also all of his units except for a single Oberos. I hold off on purchasing my commander this turn, and, expecting the game to have pretty much ended due to how far back my opponent is in tempo, move my lairs to the front row to try to end the game. My opponent surprises me with not only a purchase of a Brody, who wounds my Brannon, but also with the purchase of a Drummond, who wounds my economy units. It was a mistake on my part to not think to play around Drummond, an assassin, after seeing Kalish, who is an assassin lord. I was lucky by moving my lairs down, but it wasn't my intention to dodge any wound effects. By winning the combat phase, I wound Brody due to his guardian ability, and fireball the rest of my opponent's army to completely shut my opponents out of the game. I sadly didn't draw my commander this turn, and resort to selling my wounded units to purchase more wizards. My opponent manages to afford a second Brody by selling some of his own units, and moves him in a position to try to wound my lair. He narrowly misses my lair, and his flare has no effect since it only hits my already wounded brand. I deal enough combat damage to trigger the Guardian ability on his second Brody, and only a single dug on my opponent's army remains unscathed. I have enough currency to afford both my last wizard and my commander, and prepare to set up my endgame position to try to end the game once again. My opponent, still kicking, purchases a Tavi and his commander, who has 2 attack and 2 rampage. I still win the combat phase and manage to set my opponent down to 1 health. With no way to come back into the game is pretty much over. If you enjoyed this game and would like to play it for yourself, you may do so by following the link in the description. Highgrounds is a free-to-play browser game that is easy to get into due to its low learning curve and daily free units. If you enjoyed this video, feel free to check out my channel. Until next time, have a good day.